Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki Jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumara Padhamastu. Let us celebrate the grace that made it possible for all of us to be able to sing Bhagwan's powerful name in his powerful shrine. And when we do it, if we could do it with a picture of Bhagwan's Ananda, Bhagwan with his smile, with his laughter, you feel immediately filled with his laughter, with his Ananda, and you get a taste of that state, pure and blissful. So let us chant the name without giving place to any other thought except the Ananda of Bhagwan, the ecstatic smile of Bhagwan. It is by his grace we have been able to do this Nama Sankirtan, and we have offered the Nama lotuses at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. Bhagwan always was happy when people sang his name. So you can imagine Bhagwan dancing happily to your singing, or you can imagine Bhagwan with his peals of laughter, whatever. Just try to feel the Ananda in Nama chanting without thinking of this person, and this comment, that comment, or without this plan or that plan. We have been having glimpses of the glory of Bhagwan's Nama. Just 2 days back we saw how in Germany, in a village, Grofendorf, some 30 kilometers from Hamburg, Bhagwan listened to the prayer of a devotee and appeared and asked for food, saying he was hungry. And she was happy, the devotee was happy to hand over the bread roll, wondering how this could possibly happen in a village full of rich people. Here was a person who was saying he was hungry, and he asked for a bread roll, which is exactly what she wanted. And today, we shall see something like this, as beautiful as the other. Here is Shanti Balasubramanian from Arakonam, which is in Ranipet district. She says that her family has been coming to Bhagwan since 93. that they have been chanting his name and benefiting from its glory. Way back in 96 or so, Bhagwan's Jayanthi was fast approaching. She decided to celebrate it at home. She thought she would cook a feast with a South Indian feast with vada and payasam and all other extra items with different vegetables and offer it to Bhagwan. And she was praying and chanting that Bhagwan should come in person and accept the food in their house from her. So on the holy, auspicious day, she started to cook for Bhagwan, all the time praying and chanting that he should come to their house and accept the feast that day. She was chanting the name and cooking, all the time hoping that he would definitely come. She finished varied items and then they did a little puja to Bhagwan, offered the food they had prepared and also arati. Now they were expecting Bhagwan to come and accept food. Now, just opposite their house, the people who lived there were building something, and there were many workers, the building workers, working all through the day. Now that particular day, after their offering the food to Bhagwan, when she was waiting with expectations, from the opposite house where the building construction was going on, one of the ladies came straight to her house and said, "Amma, strangely today an old man joined the workforce. He came and asked for some work, and our mason gave him the work. Now he is hungry, he says he wants food. All of us have brought food from our home, the porridge and the like. He wants food, he doesn't have any. He wants to know if you could have it from your house." She was stunned, Shanti Balasubramanian, her husband, the two sons, to listen to the story. You can imagine their reaction. Immediately said, "Please bring him." And then the old man came. Immediately her husband, very cheerfully, wife and husband, they spread the banana leaf. The husband also sat with him and the two sons. And Shanti, with a heart full of happiness and wonder, she served. Now this old man was a little strange in the sense he was not talking at all and he was taking very little food. Anyway, they were happy that when they were expecting Bhagwan to come, here was an old man who asked for food and came into their house and they could share it with him. So after the food was over, he ate very little, he did not speak at all, and he took leave of them. Now Shanti finished all her work, thinking that the man would continue to work in the opposite building. She went after him. she wanted to go and see him, because by then they realized it could only be Bhagwan. Why on that particular day an old man should come asking for food? So suddenly she felt an urge to go and see him. When she walked over there and asked that mason, the mason said, "Oh, after food in your house, he left. He didn't come here. Today was the only day he came, and because he is an old man, I gave him some work. And soon after that he asked for food. He came to your house, and after food he simply left. He did not return here, and I don't even know who he is. A total stranger here." Just think how, when you wish something from the heart with your entire being, how Bhagwan grants it. And Shanti was fortunate to recognize Bhagwan. Many people wouldn't. Just as Bhagwan, in some village in Germany, appeared and asked for a bread roll. Here was Bhagwan. He must have worked, poor Bhagwan. He worked along with the other workers, waited till he became hungry and walked into their house, ate the little he always took and left. It shows that when we pray wholeheartedly for his darshan, for any prayer connected with him, that he would promptly and surely answer. This was pure love on the part of Shanti, with no motive at all to ask for anything. She simply wanted to feed Bhagwan. Let us shift to another scene. We knew we had gone through this experience of Sri Ramamurthy of Chennai, how they came to Sunday Street House, asked Bhagwan if he could visit their place on Jayanthi day. They were trying to persuade him to come to Chennai. And Bhagwan said, he didn't say much, he smiled and said, "We shall see." And then on the day, Jayanthi day, Sri Ramamurthy's wife cooked food. And it happened to be the day of Kumbhabhishekam for a small Ganapati temple inside the compound. So there was quite a feast. And they were waiting, the couple, expecting Bhagwan to come. And true to their expectation, an old man came. He had a hand fan. And he had a turban also, and dirty clothes, and he had some old pack of clothes with him. And he came to their house asking for food. They were so happy, and he asked for chapati, saying that he liked it. At the end of food, at the end of eating, they asked him where he was going from there. He said, "To Tiruvannamalai." So you see how Bhagwan responds to a wholehearted prayer with no motive behind it, with no prayer except prayer for any mundane thing, but a prayer of pure love. Yesterday I came across a saying which says, yesterday, it's a bygone. Yesterday is a cancelled check, and tomorrow is only a promissory note. But today is the only cash that you have in hand, and spend it with wisdom. What a beautiful saying, and how best expressed the idea. Most of us do not live in the now. This moment, how am I? What I am doing? Am I able to feel the ananda, the peace? This moment, I am free from everything, and let me concentrate on what I have in hand, be it singing Bhagwan's Nama or any work that falls into your hand. Many of us think of the past, something that happened to us, or somebody's comment, somebody's humiliating us, something that happened several years back. Bring all those old memories to the present, and the present immediately becomes past. If not, you think of the future, the fear you have of something, the anger that you have been nursing, or the grief that you have been carrying with doubt into the future, something or the other of the future. So immediately you bring the future into the present, and the present is no more present, it becomes future, full of your doubts and anxieties and expectations. So every one of us do this mistake of making this present either our past or our future, and we forget the present, the precious present. Every day, when a new day starts, Bhagwan gives 24 hours in our hand, a fresh, beautiful day. How joyfully would I spend it? How cheerfully, how peacefully I would spend it? How much seva I can do, how much help I can do for people, how much nama I could chant today, how perfectly I do my duty. Do I have a kind word for somebody which would bring a smile to someone? Think. What do I have? The saying says, today is the only cash that you have in hand. Spend it wisely. Spend it in wisdom, with wisdom. So we have every day morning, we start with a chanting of Bhagwan's Nama. It's a very auspicious beginning of the day. And now, this auspicious evening, every evening twilight time is the time when all the gods, at every level of consciousness, in different worlds, there are different worlds just like our world. You have to believe it even if you don't get to see it, because people who see it tell us. There are different worlds with beings at different levels of consciousness. And all the beings will be engaged in worship of God in the evening twilight, just as they do from Brahma Muhurtam in the morning twilight, up to morning twilight. They are the best auspicious time for worship, and there would be a very strong spiritual current in the atmosphere, and even a little tapas, a little chanting of the name, a little puja that you watch, or going to a temple, or any help that you render to somebody without any motive or expectation, will bring an enormous benefit, will multiply manifold. So, let us remember that today is the only cash we have, and that we have to spend it with wisdom. And what could be the best wisdom? Remembering God, remembering the name, and doing everything as an offering to Him. Praying to be a good instrument in His hands. Let us offer our today's prayer at the holy feet of Bhagwan. Bhagwan, we beg you again and again, crores of times, for your immediate divine intervention to free the entire humanity from the clutches of these dreadful viruses which are threatening lives and livelihoods. Please bring back normalcy, a dharmic normalcy in all aspects of life, in all places. And Bhagwan, we beg you again, crores of times, to wipe out all the negativities from the hearts of people, especially the fear, the grief, jealousy, anger, resentment, and growing desire, multiplying needs. Bhagwan, most important is, please arrest the rapid spread of the diseases. That is the biggest threat. We beg you again and again, 1,000,000 times, to arrest it and enter those medicines that would kill these viruses. And all those great tapasvinis who are working day and night, from morning till late night, arranging food for people, cleaning the places, treating the patients, and regulating people on the road and otherwise, from the police department, from the medical department, sanitary department, not to mention the volunteers. Many of them are engaged in this divine service. Please bring them protection and all-round welfare. We beg you, Bhagwan, to give a boost to our economy and a blessing that we should remember your name always, your divine name, powerful name. We also beg you to bless us to be good instruments in your hands, to run our life as an offering to you. And Bhagwan, that final, huge, enormous, supreme blessing for our complete purification, so that we could see only you everywhere, only your leelas in every event, only your blessings in every happening, no matter whether they are negative, whether it's a joy or sorrow. We pray to you again and again, wholeheartedly, knowing that you would respond to our prayer. And soon at that. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar